This is the Jasion RetroVolt electric bike, a retro-styled moped lookalike with chunky 20x4 fat tires, a long cushioned saddle, dual suspension, and a high-carbon steel frame that gives it a stout, old-school silhouette. The version I'm riding has the front basket and rear seat cushion, so it leans into that classic utility vibe. From a distance, it looks pricey and tough. Up close, it still has presence, but I'll share where it feels premium and where it feels budget. Key features that shape my experience are the 750-watt motor with a 1500-watt peak, the punch you feel when you twist the throttle, a removable 48-volt 13Ah battery, a Shimano 7-speed drivetrain, disc brakes, a bright LCD display, and that full suspension setup. The brand quotes up to 30 mph and up to 70 miles of range. From my experience, the speed claim checks out under the right conditions, while the range depends heavily on how you ride. I put this bike together in under an hour with the included tools. Most of the big pieces were pre-assembled. The video instructions were more helpful than the paper materials. I did have to adjust the disc brakes right away to stop rotor rub and a squeal on the front. I also gave the derailleur a quick tune, since the cable stretched slightly after a short shakedown ride. If you're new to bikes, this is the kind of after-assembly touch-up you might want a local shop to handle. It's normal at this price tier, but it's still time you should plan for. On the road, this thing is a blast. The motor has a lively hit that makes the RetroVolt feel closer to a small mope than a bicycle. I measured typical top speeds around the high 20s to about 30 mph on level ground when using higher assist or throttle. Hills aren't a problem. It climbs with authority and doesn't fade quickly halfway up like some lower power hub motors. The pedal assist uses a cadence sensor, which means it detects that you're turning the cranks and then sends a set amount of power. It's not reading how hard you push like a torque sensor would. In practice, the power comes on like a light switch the moment I start pedaling. It's fun, but it can feel abrupt at very low speeds or in tight spaces. I often use the half-twist throttle to feather in power more smoothly when I needed precise control. Ride comfort is where the RetroVolt earns its keep. Dual suspension paired with high-volume fat tires takes the sting out of cracked pavement, brick alleys, gravel paths, and even patches of sand or light snow. The suspension parts themselves are basic coils, no fancy air adjustments. But together with the steel frame and the tires, they soak up a lot. The seat is wide and cushy, and I could cruise for long stretches without thinking about it. The grips and levers feel less refined. They work, but they don't have that satisfying tactile feel of higher-end parts. The LCD, though, is excellent. It's bright, readable in direct sun, and the layout is clean. If you care about visibility, this screen gets it right. Let's talk battery and range, because this is where expectations matter. The pack is 48-volt 13 amp hours, which is roughly 624 watt-hours. I've seen the spec sheet list 62,400 watt-hours, and that's clearly a typo. With pedal assist set sensibly and me doing a real pedal cadence, I can stretch into the 60-ish mile range. If I ride hard on throttle and treat it like a little motorbike, I can burn through the battery in something like 18 miles. Charging took me around 4 to 5 hours from low to full. The pack's IPX6 rating is reassuring when the weather turns, and being able to pop the battery off and charge it indoors is clutch for apartment life, even if you keep the bike in a garage. The brakes are discs, sometimes mechanical and sometimes hydraulic, depending on the kit. Mine needed adjustment out of the box. After a proper tune and bedding the pads in, stopping power was strong, which is important because this bike is heavy. I mean old school heavy. The steel frame, big tires, large battery, and suspension add up. The upside is stability. The bike tracks straight, feels planted in corners, and shrugs off road chatter. The downside is portability. It's not fun to carry upstairs, and lifting it onto a car rack is a workout. The ignition key sits under the frame on my unit, which makes sense for theft deterrence, but is awkward when I have bags on the rack. In my opinion, the RetroVolt succeeds by focusing on feel. It feels solid, planted, and fun. It looks cool in a way that gets a reaction every time I stop at a light. The price-to-ride ratio is strong if you're okay with the idea that a few touch points are ripe for upgrades later. I see the strategy. Invest in the frame and the layout, make it functional out of the box, and trust that some riders will personalize it. It's perfect for city commuters who want a comfortable ride with enough zip to shorten crosstown trips, weekend cruisers who like exploring mixed surfaces, and anyone who wants a retro moped look without going full motorcycle. With the 450-pound max weight rating and that long saddle, it's also practical for hauling groceries or giving a buddy a short lift across a park. I ran errands with the front basket and used the rear seat area as a platform with bungees when I needed more capacity. The frame didn't flinch. I did run into a few quirks over time. The brakes took a second tweak after about a week. The chain needed tensioning once. I swapped the stock headlight for a brighter unit because I ride in dark areas. The stock suspension is fine for pavement and light dirt, but I'd upgrade the fork if I spent more time on rough trails. If you like tweaking and tuning, you'll enjoy the platform. If you want zero fuss, budget for a pro setup right after unboxing. From my experience, the speed and comfort keep me grabbing this bike day after day. The throttle makes quick work of traffic gaps. The fat tires calm down terrible roads that usually wear me out. The LCD screen and controls are intuitive. The grips and levers remind me it's not a premium build, but those are easy swaps. The weight is the one thing you can't mod away. You live with it, or you pick a lighter bike. I'd recommend this for riders who have ground floor storage, want a fun and stylish commuter with real power, and either have a little mechanical confidence or a shop nearby. If your routine involves stairs, long car travel with racks, or you want a super light e-bike you can shoulder, this isn't that. If your routine is ride, lock, charge the battery inside, and repeat, the RetroVolt slides right in. In conclusion, the Jasion RetroVolt electric bike gives me a smile every time I twist the throttle. It's fast enough to feel exciting, comfortable enough to ride daily, and unique enough to turn heads at every stop. The battery range is solid when I pedal, and it drops fast when I go full throttle, which is normal for this class. The brakes and shifting needed attention out of the box, but once dialed, the whole package comes together. It's a sturdy, characterful e-bike that rewards a bit of care and invites upgrades over time. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe and drop your questions or your own experiences in the comments. Thank you for watching.